Buenos dias, Gunners Collective TV. Back at it. You already know. Like a torta with some bad habits. Bye up, bye up. Let's get straight to that intro. Welcome back to the channel. And if you haven't already hit that like and subscribe button, make sure you go ahead and do that. Put your notification bell on all so that way you're directed in the direction of the dope content that I stay kicking. I appreciate the support. Well. Can I have some looky? Adam 22 drops out of gang podcasting. Does that make him a dropout? Did he roll it up? Did he fake a heart attack and go to the program office and say, I don't want to fucking podcast with gang members anymore. It's a little too difficult. They're not intelligent. And at the same time, this is, I don't want to do it no more. I'm scared, right? Adam 22 drops out of gang podcasting. I never knew he was one, right? Hey, you got to drop in before you drop out. Okay, no, that's what I heard. That's the old story. Look, I knew a long time ago, and myself, Dubs, other content creators, Point and Shoot, all these different people have been saying this for the very longest time. What the hell is Adam 22 doing? He is way out of his element. And people were like, you're just hating because he's hanging around. I don't give a fuck if he hangs around with the blind blood. Look, I don't care who that man hangs around with, but I do know that hanging around or associating with certain individuals can get you caught up. Their shit becomes your shit. And that's just the way it goes. And now because all these alleged gang members that Adam was associating with or had on his platform as co-hosts have now turned their back on him or have decided, hey, man, this ain't cool no more. They finally had an epiphany, right? And they seen something that just wasn't cool. Maybe it was the fact that Adam told on them, was telling people that they had firearms on them and things of that nature, allegedly, right? That made them finally realize, it made Munchie B finally open his eyes and see something and say, hey, this motherfucking white dude ain't cool, bro. On Bloods, on Paul Rule. And speaking of that, right, with Adam saying that he no longer wants to associate or make his channel, make his platform, make his podcasting platform in association with gangs and groups, right? Does that mean no more BFDs, no more Norteños, no more Southsiders, no more any of that? Does that mean that? Or does it just mean that's how he was feeling that day and he just wanted some attention? He wanted people to feel sorry for him, like the gangs overtook his podcasting platform. Look, when you invite the devil to your doorstep and he knocks and you let him in, he comes in with a red and a blue rag, homie, right? You know, if you start associating with gang members and start acting like you're untouchable just because you got a few dudes around you and you feel like you're safeguard repair, safeguard replace, like E40 said, you're not safe, man. Now what you've done is you've created enemies because dudes that they don't get along with are not going to like you for associating with them. And you could be anywhere with your family out there just doing your own thing. And that civilian bullshit is not going to work with them. Hey, man, you kick it with my enemy, bro. That makes you, you know, I can't call it because I'm not that intelligent according to you, but it makes you something. And I might have to do something bad to you. And I think Adam is finally realizing with all these guys turning their back on him that he ain't safe no more. That was the wrong route to take. He hit the wrong exit. Okay. I said it a long time ago. Like I said, other podcasters have said it, other content creators. And I always said, man, I don't know why Adam got involved in the gang politics in the first place. Sitting down with gang members, asking them about crimes they committed, you know, sitting down, asking about their lifestyle. Like if it's intriguing to you and you want to take it there, cool. Be blunt and real about it. But don't sit there and say no jumper, best podcast in the world, you know, and start out as a hip hop podcast and all this, and then create this gang, basically like a gang hangout. You had Crips, you had Bloods, and how stupid is this man that he in his mind thought that these guys were going to be able to really sit down together and talk about what's going on in the world, talking about gang issues and other people and paperwork and prison and dropouts and actives and all this different shit that they were talking about, and not get into some type of fucking verbal confrontations that led to fists and violence. Also, when you're inviting gang members, whether it's Crips or Bloods, and we all know that Crips and Bloods, man, not all of them, but a lot of them nowadays, aren't really tripping on each other like that, like they used to back in the 90s and the 80s. So it's more so, man, respect between the two groups, right? But there's still, still can get funky. There still is a lot of animosity between the two gangs and groups, right? So you're going to bring well-known Crips and Bloods together on your podcast, expect them to sit down together and just all kumbaya and get along. Well, that ain't going to work only for so long, because they all got homeboys that have been killed, that have been involved with this adversary. And eventually, man, something's going to come out. Someone's going to disrespect or say something. I don't know how many times on No Jumper, Crips have slipped up disrespecting Bloods or vice versa. And it's been like, oh, man, I didn't mean that. Especially when it comes to like the Hoovers and shit. I didn't mean that, bro. I didn't mean to say, what I said. I'm not going to regurgitate the bullshit. But, it's crazy. So does that mean no more Crip Max? Cuz on 55th, no more Crip Max. Does that mean no more Whack 100? Because, every other word is on Pyru over there. So it's all gang related. So does that mean that there's going to be no more Whack 100s, no more Crip Max, no more any of those? Since we already know there's no more Sporty Face, he quit the podcast. Munchie B quit the podcast, and there's a lot of drama about that. Did they quit because Adam brought in old boy Jay Hood or whatever his name is, and he was letting him pretty much do whatever he wanted to do? Or did they really quit behind, what their true beliefs and what they believe in? According to Munchie B, he got snitched on by Adam. That's just what he said. Adam says he couldn't see it, but I seen it coming, but he couldn't. But Adam said something about the blind brother, right? And he had to do it pushing. I respect that, man. Munchie B is considered real in the streets, got a lot of real connects, and is really about that life, or lived that life until he couldn't anymore, right? And as far as Sporty Face, very respected individual from the Spody Fodies, right? So you need to understand, with these type of characters, these type of individuals on a podcast, shit could get funky. And it did. I watched dudes walk out, let's go take that fade and all that. That's man shit, taking a fade. I respect it. But at the same time, Adam's, oh, what do I do? So now Adam has decided to drop out, to shy away from it. What is he going to do now? Let Lena shake her butt on camera all day for the whole live? I'd watch it, right? Is that what we're going to do now? Because, if the only reason people were watching No Jumper in the first place was because of people like Duno and AD and Sharp and T-Rel and all them. I won't say Almighty Suspect. You got to be a fucking fool if you watch that shit for Lush and Almighty Suspect. Right? But there were certain individuals that were involved in the No Jumper podcasting crew that people did like. I like Duno's Get Down, man. I like AD's Get Down, man. That when them two dudes left that group, straight caca. Because Adam went hard and trying to find people like 4 Extra and Crip Mac and Whack 100 and all these different co-hosts. And he thought just because they're gang members or alleged gang members, or they're a part of that, or were, they were going to leave that at the door. That never stops. That never stops. And if you want to make money off the bullshit, if you want to make money off the gangs and the street talk and the beefs and all that, then you got to wear that shit. You got to be ready to understand that, hey, it's not always going to work out in your best interest. So now what does Adam do? Of course, he drops out of it, but he just doesn't say, you know what, I'm going to take my channel in a different direction, my platform in a different direction. I've made some mistakes along the way. He doesn't own that. What he does is he calls gang members, they're not that intelligent. They're not good at podcasts. He blames them. They did something wrong because they're just doing what they do. I mean, that's what he hired them for, right? He hired 4 Extra because 4 Extra is loud, rambunctious, vicious with the hands, calling people out. He hired fucking Crip Mac. Oh, he just took Crip Mac's money, but he has Crip Mac there because Crip Mac is fucking, people like him. They like to hear, oh, 55 Mama Bear. They want to hear fair, what he's going to say next, right? They want to see him cat out. They want to see him crash out. And he knew this. Adam knows this. So he, like I said, living off the brown and the black man's brow, the sweat off their brow, right? Let them come in, let them argue, let them fuss and fight, let them tell stories, let them incriminate themselves and do all these different things that they do. And he wins. He's like, man, I got a fucking, it's like having a genie in a bottle here. All I got to do is rub this black dude a little bit and he's going to say anything. I get anything I want. But see, when he got some hard-headed knuckleheads on that motherfucker, right? People that are really respecting and really live that life, like Munchie B and like Spody Face and these guys, they decided enough was enough, man. I didn't come on here to leak gang politics and stories out. I didn't come on here for that. You know, that's why I always said with Adam questioning people, it was more of an interrogation. It wasn't questioning. He was asking people some pretty crazy shit. And I get a bad look. And other people that are content creators get back. Why are you talking about this? Why are you talking about that? I ain't talking about what this motherfucker was asking. Not even close. You're just jealous of what? Of a snitch? Got me. You're a dropout, Gunner. Bro, you had motherfucking J-Hands on there. You fucking talked to 6ix9ine. You talked to all these dudes. Oh, man, if you don't stop it, right? Get the fuck out of here. Get up out of here. You know, how many times has Adam said that he'll tell on these gang members that are sitting right there? He says it right in front of them. Oh, if anything ever goes down, I'm going to tell for sure. I'm a civilian. Yeah, well, now he's back to his civilian ways, up out the way, because it's not that this is what it is. It's not that gang members, he's going to get away from it because they're not intelligent or anything like he says. You know, he's getting away from it because nobody wants to fuck with him no more. You know, he just had, and it's crazy because fucking Adam's too much, right? This motherfucker's stupid, but he just had his first, I guess, live podcasting at some bar, some local hangout, wherever they were. They were going to do a live no jumper show, right? And a lot of this thing, he's not the most intelligent individual in the fucking world, right? Where this is the first time it's ever been done by anyone. First time he did it, right? Maybe the second. And you know, other people have already done that where they do live podcasting from an open area where people can come and watch for free, or, you know, they're just doing it at a bar or whatever. But he does it and sells 30 fucking tickets. 30 tickets. That means out of all the million subscribers you have, only 30 people wanted to see you interrogate someone, right? Don't no one want to be there. Ain't no one trying to hear the bullshit. They're not trying to become an accessory after the fact, right? So what happens? He gets mad, frustrated, tampon leaking, and he decides to shut it down. I hope those 30 people got their little bread back, man, and their ticket was recompensated. Everything was good for them, right? But he got, oh, I thought we were going to get more than 30 people. If you would have brought Lena there twerking, you might have got 32 people. You should have did that, right? The fact remains that it's not in the cards for him anymore because of the disrespect and the way he's been antagonizing the black and brown community, the gang community, and utilizing them for views and for you know, credibility, because that's all it was about. Adam brought these dudes on for credibility. He also changed his whole stance. Look, bear with me, right? You guys want some knowledge you can't get in college? This is why the motherfucker don't like me. I don't dislike him. He just hates me, right? Oh, that fool runner, that dropout. Yeah, next week we're going to be hosting J59 from Central California, right? Like, stop, bro. You know what I mean? What makes him different than me other than I don't talk about certain shit? Look, no hate, no, I'm just keeping it real. Fucking don't be mad at me because I'm real, right? But look, this dude right here, right? This Adam character, he, when people were questioning all that, them allegations with him with the 16-year-old, that's why they're calling him Adam 16 and all that, right? And all that shit. Immediately at that point, he shifted to inviting gang members and people that are part of gangs or past gangs, right? He invited them to his podcast and they kind of like took over the situation, right? And people started saying, oh man, this is good shit, this is real shit. And they forgot that this dude was a weirdo. And it's so much so that dudes, Norteños and Bulldogs and Southsiders, dudes that traditionally would not fuck with anyone who fucks with people like that, started to go on the podcast believing, hey, man, he's just a white dude, bro. We're going to use him as a tool to fucking to blow up and this and that. And he's trying to help us and he'll give us a little pocket change to come. And nah, bro, he was trying to misdirect people and take the motherfucking bullshit off himself. And everybody fell for it. Everybody fell for it. I didn't, right? So now that shit's not working out. Now that people are like, oh man, this is too much drama. This is Jerry Springer on YouTube and all these different things. People are falling back. Look, Adam 22 has a great platform to do something else on. You know, when you're doing, if you've never been a gang member, you've never been a part of that life, it's hard to keep people's attention by just bringing people on that are arguing and fussing and fighting, because they're making the gang, the mythical gang element look bad. Because let's be real, I'm not going to disrespect Sporty Face. I'm not going to disrespect AD. Duno AD, and Duno's not a gang member, but I'm not going to disrespect any of these past hosts. Not at all. Munchie B, none of them. But the fact is that wasn't very gang related, like what was going on there. What was going on there was a whole bunch of grown men arguing over shit that has no relevance to their life at all. That's the truth. And Adam's sitting back laughing, collecting bread off of it. That's truth. I'm glad that Munchie B and Sporty Face realized what was going on. And for whatever reasons they backed up for it. And if they decide to return or whatever, that's like a revolving door. You notice guys are out of there, then they come back, then they're out of there, then they come back. It always happens, right? That dude fucking behind the scenes, he's a master manipulator. He knows how to work people. It's on them. But I'll say this. I guarantee you Whack 100 don't go nowhere. And he's the one that talks about the gangs more than anyone. I got the work on Paru. I got the work on Big U. I got the work on Munchie. I got the work, right? He got all the work. On Paru, he's got it. And I bet you Adam will sit there and they argue like girlfriends and just crazy shit, right? But he'll sit there and talk about, oh, no, I don't want gang members. They're not intelligent. They don't know how to podcast. But he'll still have an alleged gang member sitting next to him. But only a gang member when the time presents itself, you know? Oh, man, I'm too old for that shit. I'm not involved in them shenanigans. I don't do that shit. Oh, Paru! You know what I mean? Crips can't fuck with us, right? I mean, you know what it is, right? Like I said, guilt by association. Adam chose to let his platform be overtook by gang members, and this is what he gets. And look, do you think it's that easy to drop out and walk away? Let me explain something to Adam, coming from a perspective of someone who knows, right? You don't just drop out of something. Once you're in, you're in. Once you show weakness, they gonna prey on that. So what do you think's gonna happen, Adam, when these gang members that you associated with, that you walked through their neighborhoods, you were good in their hood, you got that Viking warrior pass, remember? That Billy Western pass. Oh, I could go anywhere. I got a pass. I'm good in LA. Where's all that at? Right? When you're talking about gang members aren't intelligent enough to do podcasts. And I mean, you already beefed with Lucky, a Southsider. You called him all out of his name and all kinds of different things. You know, you haven't really said too much things about the Norteños, but you did sit down with a known dropout that a lot of the Norteños don't like. So I don't know how they feel about associating with you after that, right? But that's their business. What I'm saying is there's a lot of different people that you've offended in some form or fashion. Do you think they're just going to forgive and forget and just let you just switch up your whole channel and just be there, post up? Nah, once you start hanging around with gang members, you got to hang in, right? You can't just hang out. You got to hang in. So we'll see how it all works out for Adam. I don't wish no bad ill will upon no one in this video. At the end of the day, I'm just keeping it real. And if you don't like it, fuck it. Oh, well. I'm just keeping it real, right? So Adam drops out of the game podcasting. We'll see if it's just a rant. If it was just he's upset because Munchie B and Sporty Face ain't fucking with him no more. Or is he going to literally start talking about BMX bikes again? I don't know. I guess we're going to have to see. With that being said, thumbs up or thumbs down. Heavy's going to be the head that wears the crown. I'm going to continue to struggle, and strive for what I honestly and truly believe in, and that's the betterment of all people. Look, I don't hate No Jumper, not at all, not even in the slightest or close. And I'm not fucking hating on them or jealous of them on that platform. I just truly and honestly believe, man, that there's some wild, weird shit going on. The list of people that have been arrested off that platform or surrounding that platform and just different things, like I said, either someone's telling or it's a fucking curse. I seen this podcast. Oh, the Dropout channel says there was a curse because our homeboy got locked up. Look at, bro, no disrespect, but keep taking your ass over there and see what happens. Eventually your ass will get snatched up, straight up, unless you already know what time it is. With that being said, this video is sponsored by Barrio Liquors in Turlock, California. If you're ever in the Turlock, California area, the Central Valley, the 209, go get you something cold, icy, and smooth to drink. Also by Sticks and Stones Yard Service in Tucson, Arizona. If you're in the, did I say Turlock, Arizona? Turlock, California, and Tucson, Arizona. And if you're in the Tucson area and you need an estimate, make sure you go to Sticks and Stones Yard Service. Google it, man, and he's got you covered. Hey, I don't hate at him, but after you get locked up, you might.